Hey everybody, welcome to COCBLOK, the Coalition of Craft Beer Lovers of Kentucky. I'm Matt.
And I am Jeff. Hello, hello.
And we have a whole hour dedicated to beer, which everybody in the entire world, that's all they ever care about is beer, and that's why we're such a popular show and everybody listens to this show.
We are. The ratings are in, and it turns out we are the most popular show in all of Lexington, Kentucky at the Monday, today's Monday, at the Monday 3 to 4 slot.
Out of all of our 12 listeners, they've all given us a 100% rating.
On community radio.
Yeah, and we pay for those ratings in beer.
That's true.
But we got a lot of good beer stuff to talk about.
Great stuff.
We want to talk about the craziness of beer, eccentric beer, and stupid ingredients that have been thrown in beer lately, and how crazy it's getting. Some more screwy southern beer laws, particularly in Alabama, and some distribution deals. WikiWeek going to Colorado, and why aren't they coming here? We're going to discuss that. So, but what have you been drinking?
Good
Dr.
stuff.
Jeff, Dr. Facebook.
What have I been drinking? So, have you tried Rheingeist 3 Trips?
Yeah, and I think it's just Trips. I thought it was 3 Trips too, but it's like third anniversary sour from Rheingeist, and it's called Trips.
The Rate Beer board has it as 3 Trips.
Well, that's why nobody uses Rate Beer, because they're always wrong.
Does it sound loud in here?
Yeah,
is it just me?
No, I think it sounds great. Turn your individual one down. But I thought that wasn't technically their first sour, because they did the gozes and stuff. But
yeah,
I think that might.
That's not their first sour.
Well, they did like Peach Dodo.
Oh, you call Peach Dodo a sour?
Well, it's a gozer, right?
You call Goza a sour?
Well, yeah.
I don't think officially it's a sour. It's a German salty tart wheat beer.
Tart. We can say tart, but we can't say sour.
What a tart!
It's semantics. That's all you. You're all about semantics.
Yeah, I'm about language. I'm about language.
Yeah,
I was going to tell another joke, but it's such a Howard Stern inside joke.
Whatever.
I don't think anybody would get it.
I spent the weekend at my wife's parents live on Lake Cherokee in Tennessee, so we go out there.
I saw a picture of you with your shirt off.
Yeah, right. I know that's all you do is you stalk me for a picture.
I saw it on Facebook. You had a picture of your shirt off. I was like, whoa, what's going on? Well, my wife tries to put a picture of me and my shirt off at the beach, or I'm like, no, absolutely not.
So you got that crop tool on your phone.
Well, I have this Sons of Anarchy tattoo right here.
Really?
So,
anyways, like a skull with like a death scythe.
I do.
I drink a lot of beers down there in the lake, so I always try to get stuff that's a little bit lighter and sessionable. Every once in a while, I'll throw like a stone like Americano stout, which is a horrible idea. But yeah, I've been trying some different lake beers. And what's the tropical one from Boulevard?
Oh, you tried Tropical Pale?
Tropical Pale. That's pretty good.
Decent, pretty good.
I was actually a little underwhelmed. I thought
it wasn't so tropical.
No. And I guess I just assumed it would be because it's got a pretty can.
I get more tropical out of some of those hoppy sours.
Yes.
They produce
a
lot
like
more.
What?
Like what did I have recently that I thought was like that? I gotta look over here for a second.
Well,
I don't know, but even whether it's West 6 hoppy sour, or there've been some of these
I didn't know if you were talking
Stillwaters
about specifically Boulevard or
some. No, not Boulevard. No, but there's some that where you dry hop the sour and you get that really nice tropical
from the different like hops and stuff like that.
Pretty much like Stillwater G13 is a Brett IPA, but it has that tropical notes
I
to
haven't
it as well.
had a lot of Stillwater lately, but I need to get back to it because there's stuff solid, but I don't know. There's so many good things I just pass on it all the time.
That one I picked up after passing on it, and then I picked up recently the one with other half they did, but I haven't opened it yet.
Okay.
And I feel really, really good that I finally, after 1 year, opened my Stone Enjoy After.
It
was marked July 4th.
Was it worth it?
Well, I was a month late, so I don't know. I didn't get it on the money.
You got that 1 month window. You go outside of there, and it's like, it's like Enjoy After and buy.
Yeah, I was like, don't. I'm supposed to open this on July 4th. I remember buying it at Trap with a friend. He's like, wait, you're going to buy that beer and wait a whole year to drink it? Like, what's new, man? Yeah. I got a lot of beer like that anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Now it's just like formal. It's like, they're catering to the beer nerd.
So it's still pretty bready.
I had some... the Soul Style from Green Flash. I don't know why I haven't had it before. That's actually really good. Mm-hmm. I liked it better than the tropical one. I had the regular Soul Style and the Tangerine Soul Style, which is that's a very tropical, fruity kind of IPA. Yeah, very citrus fruity forward. I like that one. The new Lagunitas 12th of Never.
Decent.
Yeah,
decent.
It's not bad. It's right in their line. It's like super dank.
You
it's
get
like
that hoppy
5%
hop oil.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's just like a punch in the throat. It basically tastes like weed.
It's great.
Yeah, and
I'm not saying I like weed. Prank call.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that it has a nice danky. You know, it was a nice surprise to me actually from what's today, Monday, which we mean yesterday. On draft, Moreland out of Cincinnati.
Okay,
1000 Vice. Thousand Vice. It is an 11%, I think, blackberry Vice that was just delicious.
Oh, Vice, like WEISS.
Like a Vice beer.
I thought you meant VIC.
Like a Berliner Weiss.
Okay.
But this one is it's an imperial. It's called an imperial wheat is how they're pitching it. And
that's interesting.
Outside of the cloudiness and the tartness, it had this really lovely, deep blackberry taste. And I had it on Drafted Ethereal. It's the only place I've seen it in town. Matter of fact, that was the first rating on Rate Beer. It hadn't been rated yet.
Okay. And what was it again?
For me.
Yeah.
It is. Well, Moreland.
That'll be like the first and only rating on Rate.
Well, once the Cincy folks catch up, they'll rate it.
Okay.
Because it's out of Cincinnati, right? It's Thousand Vice.
Thousand Vice.
Or Weiss?
Weiss.
You want to say Weiss or Vice?
I say Weiss. Well, you say Vice. It sounds like you're...
W-E...
You got like a Don Johnson fetish or something like that.
That would be a great beer for... I'm surprised there's no Miami Berliner... Maybe there is from the Miami Brewers, a Miami Berliner Weiss.
Miami Weiss.
There might be.
That'd be clever. Somebody has to.
Somebody in Miami has to be doing it.
The whole craft beer industry is so punny.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I also had the Flesh and Blood IPA from Dogfish Head.
It's okay.
That was good. That was another kind of like fruity one. It was better than I thought it was going to be just because their stuff, it gets really weird, and we'll get into more weird beer later.
Did you have their Dogfish Head alternate takes too?
No, is that the music one?
There's two alternate takes. I've never seen them in the bottle. I've seen them all in draft. One was an IPA, and the other was a sour. The first one had a Village Idiot a while ago, and the second one had a Beer Trap.
Did they come out at the same time? Because I remember when that first
they're not the music to drink buys. Okay. They're different.
Okay,
I think they're draft only.
Okay.
Yeah. So
it's no affiliation then. I don't know why I'm drawing that connection.
Because there's music to drink by or something like that came out in the 4-packs.
Or beer to drink.
Beer to drink by. Excuse me. Beer to drink by. I don't know why I'm saying music. They came out for Record Day, and then these alternate takes are, I believe, someone can call in and correct me, draft only.
Okay. Interesting. Well, the Lagunitas, if I'm not mistaken, they vowed a while back to never go into cans. And now they're in cans.
Well, he made a big stink online about what cans do to the environment and the mining.
Yeah. And that is true.
Right, but just before he said that, I had seen the ad for that beer. Mm-hmm. I was like, what the hell, man? You're canning. I don't know what you're talking about.
And I didn't look into it.
And it's a 12-pack. So it's not like you're canning a little. You're canning a lot.
Yeah, it's a half a case. But right. I didn't look into the name. I'm assuming that the name probably has something to do with them saying they never go to cans. Probably. Which, on a separate note, he's right. Years ago, I had a beer blog before I didn't know how to use my computer and I lost it. But I did some research into canning, and I had no idea that strip mining, how much it destroys those ecosystems. Like, it's horrible. Now, on the opposite end, ideally they're more recyclable, and if you can continue, to recycle them, then that part of it is better for the environment.
Well, that's the argument. More people recycle cans than they recycle bottles.
Supposedly, yeah. But the actual production of it, the manufacture of it, it's devastating.
It's just ripping the earth apart.
Yeah, it's really bad. So, you kind of go both ways. But
as we take out our iPhones, and which are also ripping the earth apart.
Well, everything we do is ripping the earth.
I'm sitting here with my laptop.
Yeah, the amount of
and my fancy.
The amount of like gas that comes out of my body on a regular basis
that is ripping the
ozone layer. So everything I do, I can't not rip the earth apart. But I had a couple things from Ballast Point too. They got the pumpkin beer, the Pumpkin Down.
Is that already out?
Pumpkin beer.
Jeez,
it's already August.
Is that on the shelf?
Yeah. I got some the other day.
I don't know if I'd buy it.
It's decent. It's like a pumpkin scotch.
Is it poppy pumpkin or just pumpkin?
Just pumpkin. Yeah, that one, and they had Oktoberfest is out.
Well, the Oktoberfest I've had two so far. One was Heavy Seas Treasure Fest.
Okay.
Bit fruity.
Was it big bottle?
No, just a 12 ounce. And then the second one, which I think is just absolutely one more absolutely fantastic, is the new Sierra Nevada.
Which one?
What's the collab?
You're talking about new October?
Mars Brau. So last year they did a collab too of a German brewer, and they did another Oktoberfest this year with a different German brewer. It is light, hoppy, just the way you would expect a German.
It's a lager?
Marzen. But it's not like that heavy caramel, fruity American Marzen. This is that German, hoppy, light-bodied, just gorgeous Marzen.
Okay, well, and I'm flipping through my Untapped feed, which if you're on Untapped, you can...
Oh, you know what else I had, which I actually thought was decent? Who You Calling Wussy from Stone. Have you had that?
No, what is that?
It's a can, and it's a Pilsner that they put out in a can.
Yeah.
So the whole thing, fizzy yellow lagers are for wussies.
Yeah.
So that was Greg Cook's
I think I've seen
mantra.
Did they come like 6-pack or something like that?
I bought a single. I don't know. Okay. Probably. And the beer's called Who You Calling Wussy. So they're coming just like you say Tony McGee with Lagunitas. We're never going to can.
It's everybody's
12th of never.
Circle, yeah.
Fizzy yellow lagers are for wussies.
Yeah.
Who you calling wussy? So everyone comes right back around to the very thing they critiqued in the beginning.
And lagers are getting popular. But like I said, I'm flipping through my Untapped here.
I'm jumping on that lager train too.
I'm on Matty Hooba, MATTYHOOBA.
You're
not on Untapped, so
450 North. You know them out of Columbus, Indiana.
Yeah.
So I bought their juice box.
I just got a 4-pack of that. I haven't opened one yet. Is it good? Daggone it! Seriously? Hey, do you want to trade a 4-pack of 450 juice box for something else in your cellar?
I thought it was. I think I was really, really drawn into that. First of all, juicy. IPA.
What's in a name?
Like Homer Simpson, juicy IPA donut, and then it's okay. It's a little malt heavy for a juicy IPA.
Okay.
I think. But you try it out. You tell me.
Well, I haven't been real keen on some of their stuff. They're just okay.
Yeah.
You know, I did have that Sweetwater 19 that you recommended.
I liked it.
Good,
What'd you think?
It's pricier than I thought it was going to be.
I forget what it was.
I think it was like 12.
Whoa! Dump button.
Yeah, my nephew is 12 years old. But it was pretty good. Yeah, I gave it like a 3.75
I'll give
out
you
of 5.
one more, because we don't want to sit here and be homers. One more disappointment for the week for me was Dew Claw Morgasm.
Okay.
Saw it in a single.
That up, yeah.
I had grapefruit all over it. And plus you said it's got an orgasm pun. And like, who doesn't like an orgasm pun when they're drinking beer? I mean, I want to think orgasm, baby. Mm-hmm. And nothing orgasm. If I was writing my review, nothing orgasm about this beer. I mean, I was like a woman.
Was that
3 minutes into it? Are you done yet? I mean, this was not a good beer.
Was it a wheat, no, orange something like that?
Is this supposed to be an IPA?
I thought it was a fruited wheat beer.
Let me just pull it up on the computer. And I believe it was a pale or a it's listed here as a blonde actually.
Oh, so it's just kind of like a basic style
blonde ale, okay. But obviously with grapefruit something or other, but not very grapefruity, frankly.
No, not good. Okay, yeah, we could talk all day on the beer we drank, which I did have the double two-hearted finally, which is really good.
Beauty.
Arcadium.
Yeah. Oh, they have it at Arcadium too.
Yeah.
Beauty.
Which I may stop by there after this.
Well,
so if anybody wants, they open it like 5. Daggone it!
You gotta wait an hour
every time. I always think they open up at 4, and I'm like, that's gonna be perfect.
Anybody who in Arcadium,
I'm gonna go over there just like pound on the door for like an hour
on a Monday, so we can have a beer before the show, man.
Yeah,
or open it just for us.
Yeah.
What's going on, man?
Yeah, if anybody at Arcadium is listening, we want to petition to open 2 hours early on Mondays.
Another one, Uinta.
Yeah, it's Uinta.
Flamingos, pineapple goza.
Is that good?
It's all right.
Okay.
But it was like 5. Well, I can't say, I guess. It was a single digit that's not.
I'm gonna put a jar here. Every time you say a price, you have to put a nickel in the jar.
It was so cheap, man. It was a 22 ounce bottle for like nothing.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, there's a lot.
You're not gonna go wrong. It's less than a pint.
When I was in St. Louis, there's a brewery out there, Crane, I think is what they're called. Never heard of them, but they're producing all kinds of gozas like out the butt. Yeah, I mean they had like 4 or 5 different flavored gozas, but that was like all they made. I think they had a couple one-off like big bottles, but they had tons of gozas. Like, I think it's kind of jumped the shark.
I don't think I've had anything
crazy. I haven't either.
I'll give one big shout out to Life Hoppy Saison. Nice.
Yeah,
I thought it was nice.
Is it new? From Life,
I was there,
Brew Pub.
Life Brew Pub here in beautiful Lexington, Kentucky.
Oh my gosh.
I was there last Tuesday for lunch, and there were probably 5 new beers. I only had one.
That's awesome.
And I thought I should have done a sampler, but I
haven't been in a couple weeks, so it's time that I go by there.
I regret not doing a sampler that day. And
Hoppy Saison, huh?
Hoppy Saison was one of the new ones I had.
Okay. They get an IPA back on?
IPA back. we have to talk at some point about... I mean, I bleed. I bleed IPA. I drink buckets of IPA. I love IPA. The hoppier, hop water, the better.
Yeah.
But I don't believe if you're a brewery and you're opening up, you must have an IPA. Yeah. Because there's so many examples to the contrary. There's so many breweries that don't have IPAs. Yeah. The brewery, the BRUERY, who everyone loves, at least on bottle. I've never been to the tap room.
Yeah.
There are no IPAs.
No IPAs.
Metropolitan out of Chicago, no IPAs. Duck Rabbit.
Yeah, and then you got
IPAs.
You got the sour breweries like Crooked Stave.
Crooked Stave, no IPAs. Jolly Pumpkin.
No IPAs.
No IPAs.
Yeah, all sour stuff.
Now Cascade maybe in the tap room, but not in bottle. There's no IPAs. No.
Yeah. I don't think it now it's necessary. I think maybe 5 years ago, if you wanted to be successful, it was necessary. Right. But it's progressed. Craft beer, I think, has progressed to the point to where a lot of it's evolving. And hops are what really brought people into craft beer in the beginning.
I mean, you have to.
Yeah, you have to admit, as great as the next vanilla coconut chocolate milk stout is, hops are really what like kind of engage people into getting into craft in the first place. But now you got sours are huge right now, and you got like all these crazy ingredients people are throwing into beer, and just like
Westbrook sells the hell out of their goes, huh?
Yeah,
and so does Anderson Valley. But you probably need some kind of look. You need a flagship of some sort. Maybe there's some exceptions to the flagship rule, but you need something to pay the bills. But if you don't. Blues Diet didn't start with an IPA, and for a long time didn't even brew an IPA.
I don't think Country Boy did either.
Country Boy right off the bat, I thought did Cliff Jumper, didn't they?
Did they? Okay,
no?
maybe.
Am I wrong?
I can't remember. I thought
Evan,
I thought it was
Cullen,
I thought it was
correct us on
Bait.
the.
Yeah,
Cougar Bait is their big seller.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not an IPA.
Yeah.
You don't have to do this. You don't have to do a brown, an IPA, a wheat, and an amber every brew pub that opens.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be boring. You can try other things.
And that really was the template for like 10 years. It was like here we have four shelf beers, and it's
amber,
a pale, an amber, brown,
a wheat.
and a wheat.
That's it.
Which is pretty boring now.
It's it. And if you do it, you got to really kill it, because everyone does an IPA, and some of our tastes differ on what we like in an IPA. Some people like a little more of the fruity, a little more of the malty. I like the hoppy, less malt. But regardless, there are some IPAs that are lame, and they're not that great.
I'm kind of to the point where I'm with you. I'll always enjoy IPAs no matter what.
Oh, I love them.
But like, I think earlier on, I was really excited to try the different types of IPAs. And now it's like, once you have so many, I'm not saying they all run together, but the really hard to get, highly sought after ones out of Vermont, like Hetty Topper and stuff like that.
The New England IPAs.
Huh? Yeah. I mean, stuff's all great, but I mean, I'd almost just as much rather have something that's local and accessible, because the hop profile. A lot of people are getting very similar hop profiles just by doing different blends and stuff like that, and the way you cook them and stuff like that is, you could dank the hell out of it like Lagunitas, and it's like a whole different style, but. I'm not saying once you have one, you've had them all, but there's so many out there now. You can get a good one anywhere. You don't have to try that hard. And
here in town, you can get a good IPA. On the shelf, you can get a good IPA. But you don't have to. It's like, look, it's like, why does every crappy bar have to have Budweiser, and why does every restaurant have to have bacon wrapped bacon? You might like it. It's great. But it's everywhere. It's everywhere.
Bacon wrapped bacon?
Whatever. The idea is that everything has to have bacon all over it.
Hold on. Did you go to a place that's got bacon wrapped bacon?
It's a metaphor.
Okay, but I want to try bacon wrapped bacon now.
But every place you go to always has to have the same... Look, you go to a pizza place. Not every place has to have a margarita pizza and a pepperoni pizza. You can do different things. You can be unique. Every place... This is the whole culture... The whole American culture is just franchise culture that it's always the same. You got to have the same. So kind of this idea that every single new brewery has to have an IPA seems to be like the question of familiarity and comfortability. Yeah. I feel comfortable. It's familiar. I don't want to take a chance on something different.
Yeah. And that's from like the marketing and the sales perspective, though.
Right.
Give
people what they know.
Yeah. Right. You have, quote unquote, you have to have an IPA, because that's how you get into people's homes, and that's how you start selling right away. There's still,
but it wasn't always.
There's still no. Well, but there's still some truth to that. Yeah. But I mean, you take for example the Crooked Stave. It's their whole kitsch is not hoppy, it's sour. So I mean, they're not going to have an IPA. So if, you can have an appeal in another degree, or you can
have their market,
knock some other stuff out of the park.
But you have to also, you can't just always brew what people want or make what people want. You have to teach people what they want to. You have to teach people to want things.
Yeah,
and that's even the Stone example. Nobody wanted that super bitter, pale. They had to teach their audience this is actually good. Yeah. And now, of course, it's every day.
And that's kind of been the premise behind the craft movement. Yeah, we come up with the good stuff, and then you learn to enjoy it. Right. You will like it whether you like it or not.
That's right. It's basically good. It's basically either good or bad parenting. Like, do what I say.
Yeah, exactly.
Like this, you'll like this. You'll get nothing and like it.
That's my new motto. You'll like it whether you like it or not.
Yes.
All right, cue us up, and then we'll come back and talk about.
Let's see what we got going on.
Gonads and beer.
So you were listening to WLXU 93.9 FM in Lexington, Kentucky.
Welcome back to COCBLOK, the Coalition of Craft Beer Lovers of Kentucky. On 93.9 WLXU, I'm Matt.
I'm Jeff. Matt, that song was for you. Don't take advantage of me, baby.
So we are here talking about bacon wrapped bacon. So how do you like your bacon?
I don't want it wrapped in bacon. That's my whole point, man.
I want to try this bacon wrapped bacon. I'm
Everything
so
is
intrigued.
bacon wrapped bacon today. Would you like that fish wrapped in bacon? Would you like that cheese wrapped in bacon? You want your milk and bacon? Okay, beer bacon. Everything's bacon.
There is bacon. Yeah, you got some bacon beers. You got the maple bacon.
But that's not
coffee
really
beer.
bacon, though. It's just malt.
It's like smoked malt. Yeah, yeah. I like bacon. I don't like it as much as some people will just be like bacon.
That's
I
right.
love bacon.
Everything
but
goes better with bacon, is what we're told.
I don't like the real crispy. I mean, I still like it, but people love the crispy bacon. I like the real thick, like
people are gonna say
like steak.
People are gonna say, "Hey, Dr. Fabulous, you're just saying that because you don't eat bacon." I'm gonna say, "No, I'm saying that because it's
Just
about
saying that because you're vegan.
It's homogenous culture. It's just everything becomes the same everywhere you go. Every food, and that's the thing about we were having a discussion of IPA. Everything becomes the same, and I think it's you can.
So even if you like bacon, you're not allowed to like bacon because it's
you can
homogeneous.
like it, but why does every single meal? Some places I go into town, it's like there might be 6 dishes, and they're all got bacon, and I'm just like, look, I get it, you like bacon, but can we have a little difference here?
Yeah.
You know?
Is that a product of demand, or is that just business trying to?
I think it's homogenous culture. I think every it's always trying to give people what they like and not what I think they should like.
Okay.
And I want to see businesses. That's why I like the Middle Fork in some ways too, because he's saying, if you've been to Middle Fork, next to Ethereal,
Yes.
this is how I'm gonna serve. I'm not gonna put all the plates out at once.
Yeah.
I want you to eat family style. And if you don't like it, tough, man.
He
This
also
is how
won't
we're
change
gonna do
any of his food though. Like if you have an allergy or something, he won't take
They
it.
won't. I've never asked him to change anything.
Which that's a little
That's a
different.
different
but
issue.
On the issue of homogenous culture,
Right.
let's talk about pee.
Because drinking pee for the most part is not homogenous. At least most of us don't usually drink pee knowingly.
Yeah. Willingly.
Knowingly.
Yeah.
Like when you
Unless
have
your Bear Grylls.
or when you first have a baby boy and you're a little worried about the diaper changing, that pee is going to shoot up in your face.
Yeah.
So they sell this thing called the PPTP, and you can put it over it.
Goodness,
Well, we never bought one,
Okay.
and my boy never peed in my face as I can.
Well, I got
remember.
a little girl, so I didn't.
They don't shoot upward.
No, she. that's different. We're getting way off topic,
But pea beer, you tell us about. There's something now about pea beer.
So some sciencey scientists in Belgium had developed a machine to where it will turn urine into drinkable water.
Right.
And essentially, it goes through and it heats the water, and then the machine has like a sciencey process to where it removes all the what they call it. I think they actually call it nutrients that are found in urine, but it makes it potable water. And the first batch that they did, they actually turned it all into beer, which is great. Would you drink pea beer?
Where did this take place?
Belgium.
Good for the Belgians.
Yeah, and they're probably all that pea water started as beer anyway, so it's just right back to the source.
Well,
I wonder how much
its beer becomes pee and then goes back in the beer.
Yeah,
again.
and I think they said they went to some
it's the
music
cycle of life, man.
Yeah, they went to some festival, and I think they had got they were able to extract 1,000 liters of water from people just peeing and partying. It was pee party.
How much does that cost a pint?
Yeah, I don't know. Would you drink it? I'd drink it.
No, I wouldn't drink it.
You just wouldn't even.
I'm not drinking anybody's
just because
pee.
you think it's gross, or just because
I'm not drinking anything. I'm not going to drink any water that was in the toilet.
I'll try
or that was
once.
in someone's body as urine. I don't think. I mean, it's different if you put an animal in it or parts of an animal and brewed with it. But I'm just not into drinking anything that had defecation or urine. I'm sorry, guys.
There's what was that beer?
And I eat a lot of different things.
Yeah, I read a while back there was one that was made with Rocky Mountain oysters, which are sheep balls, right? Yeah.
The one that comes.
So you try something like that?
I would, but I don't think I've ever had. The one that comes to mind for me was Wynkoop in Denver. And the guy who started in Denver, Colorado, who started Wynkoop, one of the first breweries in that Denver area, was a brew pub. Excuse me, I've been to it, and he does a Rocky Mountain oyster beer. Now he's now a politician. In fact, he was mayor.
Really? Okay.
He runs for this and that. But they do. I know they've done a Rocky Mountain oyster beer, and there may be some other. I don't know if any other breweries
like a one-time
have.
brew thing, or like they made it multiple times.
At least once.
Okay.
At least once.
And you tried it?
I don't remember trying. I don't think it was on when we were there.
Okay. Was it something like now?
I will eat Rocky Mountain oysters. I have no problem. I've done that.
I'll try anything
Lamb
once,
fries,
but I can't
Rocky
imagine
Mountain oysters.
Yeah.
You've never eaten those?
No.
I've
never had the opportunity.
I bought fresh lamb fries at the farmer's market.
If you wrap it in bacon, I may be on board with that.
Bought fresh lamb fries and prepared them at home and made them.
How much do lamb fries cost? How much did sheep balls cost?
It wasn't too much. It was only maybe if I can remember how much per pound. I don't remember.
No,
that's it.
We got the price drop. We're not gonna advertise sheep balls.
It's learning how the preparation, because you got to peel so much off to get to that soft, creamy part inside that you bread and fry. You can't just take the ball itself, bread it, and fry, because you can't eat the outer part. But we did it, and we made it at home, and my daughter and I enjoyed a nice plate.
I don't like this show anymore. I don't like the direction it's taking.
But the pea beer thing, is this really part of the larger movement of extreme beer?
Like Rocky Mountain, eccentric beer, crazy ingredients.
As Dogfish Head once started this movement, supposedly eccentric ales.
Yeah.
It was, I was telling you before we started, it was back in, bring up here on the computer for a second.
They were the original eccentric ale.
It was
brewer.
back in 2008 that the New Yorker ran a piece on Sam Calagione from Dogfish Head.
Yeah.
That it's called A Better Brew, and it was the rise of extreme beer.
Yeah.
That Dogfish in 2008, 8 years ago, if my math is, I'm not really good at math, but my math's correct, since I have a PhD in English. 8 years ago, Dogfish Head, that was the face of extreme beer for the kind of stuff they were doing with different kinds of ingredients and herbs and whatever. But today, I don't think we think of Dogfish Head really in that way, given all the other weird stuff that's out there.
Now, their stuff is still weird, and they have like really exotic ingredients. Like he'll go, trekking through some Amazonian rainforest and come back with like a rare berry that was probably just discovered as.
Do you remember the Spit beer?
Spit beer?
What's that beer called again? Where it was on his show.
It was his beer. Like he made it. I mean,
when he had the show on the Discovery Channel, I don't know if you ever saw that show. They documented him going down into. I can look it up for a second because there actually is a real name for it, but it's
you do a lot of looking up stuff that you can't find. I've noticed.
My memory's not good.
Yeah, neither are your computer skills.
Chicha.
Chicha.
So chicha is I think a Central American beer where you're chewing maybe corn, or I forget what it is exactly. The corn. It's a way to, and it's from the saliva that when you spit it out, the enzymes
interact with
and they break it down.
The natural yeast. Okay.
Yeah, so it's called chicha, and he made it on the Discovery Network show, and I think they had it in the bar for a while on tap.
Really?
Yeah, it was on tap. If you went to Dogfish Head, you could have drank it.
Well, you can get so there's spit beer. Pretty sure somebody made one with a whale penis. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
You can get where was I going with that? We got the sheep balls and stuff like that. But like even like regular,
this is much different than Beechwood aging, folks. Right?
I know, right? Yeah. But even like regular ingredients that at once would have been like, oh, that's absurd. You're going to throw like a jalapeno pepper in a beer, and then now it's like,
all kinds of fruits and berries and raisins and this and that, and
even beyond that, there's a lot of breweries that are kind of emulating food, and I think it's good. Like literally, like it tastes good to a degree, but it's like getting so far away from beer in some aspects. It's like for example, how much extract could we throw in this beer? Like different types of flavoring and stuff like that.
Make a beer taste like a pie or a cake or
like
a brownie.
It's technically beer because it's it's got the four main ingredients.
We're talking about Funky Buddha's Last Snow.
Yeah, which I like that stuff.
I love it.
I like it. I like the maple bacon coffee porter, but it does not taste like beer. Is it good? Yeah, but I mean, is it still beer?
When West Six did the experimental key lime pie,
the pale ale, it
tasted like graham crackery key lime pie. I mean, there's something there too, like it's almost like gastronomical food where you're pulling out, and it's a little different because the gastronomical thing is also a performance and an experience where you go someplace and food looks like a balloon, or it looks.
I've seen some of that stuff. It's crazy. Right. Yeah,
tapioca pearls.
Nitrogen.
You go in and there's a balloon and you bite into the balloon, and or it's doing stuff with air. I mean, okay, that's all in mist. That's all performance, and you don't get the performance out of the beer so much, except when you taste something and you go, "Holy crap! It does taste good. It tastes like a key lime pie. And it tastes graham cracker, or it tastes chocolate, or it tastes."
And I think that's a big thing behind the appeal of craft beer right now, is that it can take on so many things. And I think you look at something like the wine industry, which has flourished for decades, probably hundreds of years. I don't know much about wine.
Thousands, baby.
Yeah, well, but I mean, I'm
like
talking about like
texts of people making wine.
Yeah, but I mean, like in America right now, like how many wineries there are, and how many wineries. Century, we've had probably like 20 wineries in Kentucky before we got our first brewery. You know what I mean? But it's such, at heart, I'd admit that I'm a purist. And I like things that can, capitalize and really eloquently translate what the basis the basic ingredients are and the elements. But I still really do enjoy like all these crazy concoctions and see where you can push beer and what you can do with it and where you can take it. And I don't.
Well, wine. Then you're saying wine is terroir.
Is like, yeah.
Wine is terroir. I want to understand the land, the grape,
exactly,
the air that led to this kind of taste, the environment, the soil. Beer, when you taste something that's a banana cream pie beer, or I'll tell you, Blue Stallion had on a few weeks ago the banana. What's called like Mr. Foster's banana.
Yeah,
Foster's.
I think I saw that online.
Holy mackerel, it was good. But like you're saying, it tasted like a dessert. And I love that. I love that in many cases. I love that.
Yeah.
In that case, I loved it because it was so enjoyable and tasty.
Fun.
And every sip, it was fun.
It is fun, yeah.
Other beers, like for me, the Southern Tier heavy creme brulee beers, they're only fun for a second, and then I just can't get.
I even like those. It's tough, and it's like it's like eating chocolate, And if you're finishing a whole 22-ounce bottle by yourself, that's like eating like two king size Hershey bars. Well, that's going to be tough for anybody to do, but it's still it's fun, and we have some of the kind of the traditional terroir, and like this is the Reinheitsgebot of beer, and we're very purist. But we also, as craft beer nerds, have the opposite spectrum too, where this is fun, this is crazy, and we got like a little bit of everything. But like wine, I don't think really ever went in that direction. I don't think it was stifled or it got it's slowed up or anything. But I think craft beer has kind of gone leaps and bounds because it's just like boom, it's just like expanded. Ways, now we can do what we want. And we don't have fear of retribution.
Right, and with some of these beers we're talking about, I'm also thinking like to me the lager, the basic fizzy yellow pilsner, it's emotional for a lot of people in the sense that it reminds you of being a teenager or working in the yard of your dad or mowing the lawn. While these beers are emotional too, but they're emotional in a different way because they bring up the sense of dining out or dessert or decadence, and real kinds of pleasures that you start to make an emotional connection to when you're drinking a beer and you're like, holy mackerel, it tastes like this wonderful dessert I once had. Mm-hmm. It doesn't taste like beer in many ways, but it's still really, really lovely. Yeah. And it's a different kind of emotional experience. The dessert experience maybe, or the decadent experience, or the extravagant experience that a lot of these beers I think are pushing to the forefront for us.
Mm-hmm, yeah, and it also lends to the kind of not the one-off nature, but the special occasion, kind of deal. It's like, let's get this bottle, even put it away for a while, or just open a special occasion. It's not like, let's get a 6-pack of Budweiser and let's see how many we can drink in an hour, kind of thing. But no, I love we go back to Funky Buddha out of Florida, for example. I like all their beers, and in a sense, I guess I'm kind of conflicted because I don't know, I can't say 100%, but I'm relatively certain they use various types of extract in their beer. Do we have a phone line? Did you hear that? Someone calling in? That would be great.
Except I don't know how to set the phone up.
Yeah, just start hitting buttons and be like, hello. We get our first caller?
Caller, you're on the air.
Yeah, but I'm relatively certain they use extract, flavoring extract. Now, I don't mean like hops and malt extract, but like all kinds of different stuff.
Yeah, a lot of brewers do.
Yeah, and it's fine.
So in that sense, it's no different than when you're drinking some, I don't know if it's no different from drinking a Bud Lime Rite or whatever it's called.
Lime-A-Rita.
Right. Or any kind of soft drink that's made to taste like raspberry, because there's no real fruit in it. It's a company that's making, and I don't know if this is the same for the beer, or it's a company that's making the chemicals that make it taste like lime or raspberry.
Yeah, I guess it's still technically beer, but it's nice to see that we can embrace the craziness and the eccentricities of beer while still saying it's beer. Is it still ringing?
It's still ringing.
Let's why don't you?
I saw one time Half Communion Show had to set it up over here, but I don't know how to put it on the board. It says,
okay, if you're calling us in, we appreciate your call. We have no idea how to answer the phone.
Watch this. Caller, you're on the air.
Okay, nothing. That didn't work. Okay, well, why don't you cue us up some music and then we'll get into some crazy beer laws after that.
I bet that was somebody we know calling the crank call us.
That would be
Baba Booey, Baba Booey.
Welcome back to COCBLOK, the coalition of craft beer lovers of Kentucky on 93.9 WLXU.
Hello.
And I'm Matt, and we got Jeff here. We've been talking about bacon wrap bacon all day.
It's turning into the bacon show.
Yeah. What's that? Oh, it's still COCBLOK. It's just some bacon for beer. That's fine. Well, I was actually, it was funny, on the break I was flipping through my my Facebook where it's like...
Are you on Facebook?
No, I just don't friend you. But
It's wondering what's going on there. You're sending that request, getting no response.
I send you requests every single day for 4 years. But it was like on this day, I think it was like 4 years ago, and it was funny. We were talking about eccentric beer, and I checked into a COCBLOK from it was a Lips of Faith beer from New Belgium, and my review said tastes of pepper, oyster, chocolate, and butter.
Sweet.
Yeah, and I guess back then that was still kind of crazy
butter.
now. Yeah, that still sounds pretty crazy now. There's probably some diacetyl or diacetyl going on there. But anyways, so something really interesting that I saw on my news feed pop up. I try to keep up with beer news and stuff. We've said it 1,000,004 times on the show. The South has the stupidest beer laws.
That's right.
Of any United States that we know of.
Sometimes it feels that way.
Yeah, and that's even.
Although Utah might be Utah might be a little stupider.
Yeah, well, Utah.
We're up there.
Yeah, Utah's got probably a lot of different stupid stuff going on too. But Alabama did something. Well, now since 2009, they've actually opened up a lot on the beer front that they've really shut down, and it's been a long time coming and stupid, but they upped the ABV limit from like 6% to 13%. I didn't even know it was that low, but I guess that was in 2009 or something like that. They opened up large format bottles, which you couldn't even do before. It's just stupid.
But you can still buy it in a milk jug.
Well, apparently, yeah. Well, that could have been like that was like last year's law. And now you can sell.
You went to a growler station where they filled a milk jug of beer.
Yeah. And after reading these laws, I'm sure there was like a reason that he did it that way. But that, and then on-premise sales of beer in brew pubs, which you couldn't even do before. Everything's just so bass backwards, Well, now they open it up so you can sell beer to go from breweries, and that's a pretty big
radical
step
idea.
Yeah, for Alabamians, because nobody's ever done that before. God forbid. Yeah, the whole nation's going to shut down. Well, good thing that Alabama's on top of it, because in doing that, they've also given the caveat that breweries have to collect all personal information from people they sell off-premise beer to, so to make sure they're only getting 288 ounces of
write
beer.
down someone's name, their phone number, their address. I mean,
just to make sure.
Total Big Brother.
Yeah.
And it's BS anyways, because and I think I commented on this, that the amount of money and people power to actually keep track of all these purchases. I mean, you got to do something of all these records, right? So even if you're entering in a computer, someone's got to enter in the computer.
Yeah.
But someone has to do something with all the information. So you're going to pay people.
Yeah.
Sit there and sort through all this information to do what?
It costs money.
Can we see your 120 ounces of beer in your fridge, please?
Yeah, exactly.
I drank it.
Yeah, it's like, how do you regulate that? Yeah, I put it in my Belgian piss machine and turn it into water.
So someone walks out of the brewery with whatever the limitation is on packaged beer.
288 ounces.
All right, 288 ounces.
Which I think is like a case. Yeah.
Okay, by a case of beer. By the time that somebody could even... Why would you pay someone to go check on it anyways? But regardless, gets to the house... Beer's gone, man. They drank it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's kind of been, a lot of that's been one of the numerous reasons that people are saying it's just an asinine caveat to say that you need to collect all the personal information. It's a logistical nightmare. It costs extra money. So it's like I mentioned on our Facebook page, it's like one step forward, two steps back. It's like every single time we can be like, oh, we're gonna finally get be a modern society. Oh, by the way, we also want to make sure that we watch everything that you're doing.
It's like this society sometimes. I'm not going to mention which political party, because I think they're both pretty problematic to begin with, but some of them are obsessed with either how much alcohol you drink and where you drink it and how you drink it, and whether art has naked pictures. So it's just that this is all they're concerned about.
Yeah.
Of all the things to be worried about in the world, we're worried that you're going to drink more than 200 ounces of beer in some time period.
Yeah,
Who cares?
Yeah, it's stupid. They, I kind of tried to read up on it a little bit. I think they're working with some local breweries that, and that's the thing. These breweries, they bring a lot of money to the state. I mean, there's they're generating tax revenue, and they didn't have breweries basically up until
they're
this
using
decade.
Electricity and water, and someone has to sell them the cups and the plates and the forks and the materials
and the sales tax too. I mean, they're generating
every
revenue.
Time they buy something, they pay sales tax. Every time they're paying payroll tax. Every time someone comes in there, they're spending money.
These are production facilities.
And
this isn't like Bacardi coming in and distributing here and selling that kind of alcohol because it's not made here.
And then the guy who makes food shows up, and now he's making money. And then next door a coffee shop opens, and then a clothing store. And next thing you know, you have a whole community of businesses that have opened up where before there was nothing but some rundown buildings.
Yeah, well, they finally kind of like, loosened the stranglehold on opening a brewery, and you got places like Avondale and good people that have opened, and they're doing great, and they're growing and they're expanding and stuff like that. But it's like how can you not still see that this is good for the community?
But in Georgia, they're still debating whether you can go into a brewery and buy a growler of beer at the brewery.
Yeah.
Because, again, who else does this every year?
Yeah,
the bloody state in the union, and it's okay. It'll be okay, guys.
As soon as we let that happen, then Satan's going to come out of the ground.
Went from you can't buy beer on Sunday for some weird reason because, you don't want to show up drunk to church, but people show up drunk anyways.
Yeah. And it was like that here up until, 2 decades ago or something like that. You couldn't buy beer.
There's still states like this where you can't buy beer on Sunday.
There's a lot of states that have a per ounce limit. So 288 ounces seems really small.
Is that per week or what?
It's like per day per visit.
Per day.
Yeah. But that's, it's like if you're having
it's un-American, I tell you.
I know. If you want to go to a lake party or something like that, obviously you want to buy for everybody.
I want 500 ounces.
Everybody's got to come in.
I want as many ounces as I can.
Yeah. Well, places have ounce limits. I still think that's archaic, but I understand that. But the whole collecting information seems very Big Brotherish, very paranoid. So
the other Southern news this week that we heard about was, I think one of Lexington's favorite breweries is Wicked Weed.
Right? One of Lexington's favorite breweries in Asheville, North Carolina.
Have made that 4-hour trip every now and then to go to a bottle release, or people like me
I've been there at least 5 times.
Hang out at the brew pub and the Funkatorium. But they are, once again, expanding. They've already expanded up till now into the Georgia market, the Massachusetts market, Philadelphia, and they've chosen, drum roll, Colorado. So this upsets a lot of people, obviously, because they're big fans and they feel like, hey, man, we're buying a lot of Wicked Weed. Oh, we're right near. We're 4 hours away.
I think it's the primary issue, yeah.
Our market still is growing. And why do you go to Colorado where there are so many breweries distributing there and the shelves are full and there are not enough SKUs and all this? Well, because there's just so many more people drinking beer in Colorado. It's just what it comes down to. Having having zero dry counties, of course, but also having people who consume more beer than they do in Kentucky. And
they're huge markets.
Huge markets. The piece in All About Beer this week about Texas was Texas drinks 9% of all craft beer, and that may sound like a small number, but it's actually a huge number.
Yeah.
To drink that much, almost 10% of the entire business coming out of one state.
Out of one state,
They just have so many people.
Yeah.
So many people. The other thing, but we're seeing progress in Lexington because I've even seen a couple restaurants open recently or move locations, and you walk in and it's either local or craft on tap. Yeah. And what that does means the average person who goes into that place and orders a beer is ordering a Blue Stein or a Country Boy or even a Rheingeist, and they're thinking, damn, that tastes good.
And what's funny?
And they're going to buy more beer at the store.
This goes back to our previous discussion about doing what's popular. And it's kind of around here, it is getting to the point to what is popular is to put on a Country Boy or West 6.
That's right.
Not a Bud Light or a Miller Lite.
And the nerd walks in and goes, oh, man, Cougar Bait and Dunkel. But the truth is, Dunkel is...
Would you rather have a Heineken and a Corona?
Someone told me about a place the other day. They said the Blue Stein Dunkel is outselling all the other beers on tap.
I think it's a good beer.
It's great. It's great because that's educating people. When they go to the store, they're looking for something better. Yeah. And that's how Asheville actually did turn, is because they kept putting more and more local things in general, food and beer, etc., were available, and people wanted more of that quality, and we're willing to spend an extra $1 to get it.
I understand the entering big markets, and it's like you said earlier, you go into places like Chicago and it seems saturated, and maybe it is, but people are still buying, and they're still selling, even though, they have... maybe 100 more brands on the shelves than we do. They're still selling 100 more times beer.
The Philadelphia one is crazy because, I trade with someone there regularly, and he's like, dude, I'll get you whatever you want. And think about Philadelphia because it's in Pennsylvania, and they actually have very weird laws. The case law, we have to buy a case of beer at one time.
Not as bad as the wooden token law, but anyway.
Except if you go to a place that sells food. So these people put up these kind of crappy so-called food stores where there's like hot dogs rolling around for weeks in the Turner. And the beers are actually more expensive that way, and they still have a better market. Meaning, if you go to get a Cigar City in Philadelphia, it's going to cost $1 or $2 more. It's like going to New York and buying beer. It's going to cost more, but they're selling tons. So they got Wicked Weed now. They have Funky Buddha. They have Sweetwater. You name it, man. It's every time I want to send them a beer, I go, well, I'll send you this. No, man. We get that already. It just entered our market.
It's a marketing decision, and I get it. And you still got, there's not everybody does that. You look at, I don't think they're as popular, but I've always had a soft spot for Sweetwater. Their 420 kind of helped get me into serious into the craft game. But they did it a grassroots style, and it was just Georgia. And then it was like, I guess they're in Mississippi. I don't know.
Well, it used to be just the Southeast.
Yeah, just the Southeast. And then they just slowly expanded. I remember years ago, I actually contacted somebody that was like, when are you going to enter Kentucky? Because I want to get some Kentucky beer. And at that point, I think they were in Tennessee. And their response was flat out, I was like, we can't handle the demand, but we'll be there soon because we're expanding out from, the central hub. So they're doing it the way a lot of people expect it to happen.
But they broke that model too, because now they're in Ohio and Chicago, and now.
Yeah.
Maybe
and I think,
New Jersey or something.
Yeah, and then they bubbled out, and then all of a sudden it didn't like burst per se, but then they just started jumping around and they started like everywhere. But they can afford it. I mean, they're huge now. Like, I guess, are they considered regional now?
Sweetwater?
Yeah, they have to be, right?
I mean, I consider them Southern, but they're moving out. They're going to move out, and they're going to see more and more. We're eventually going to see more of this, but we're still going to see some of the niche brewers when they move out of their states. Like Burial now is going to Georgia. Georgia's a huge market. Kentucky will get picked up, but probably not at that rate of some of these. And then, of course, the ones that want to be in 40, 50 states, they'll eventually be here because they're just making too much of their mainstream flagship beer, and they got to sell it somewhere.
You know what I think the answer is? I think the answer is we need to produce more beer. And we've done really well.
And we're seeing more.
Market. Yeah.
And I can't say who's on it, but I have seen upcoming Festivals beer list, and there's a lot of local beer.
We have
a lot of local beer that we've never had because we haven't seen any of their distro because they're from different parts of the state.
Yeah. You sure it's not like the one-off rule to where they can just kind of enter for a festival? Isn't there like a rule that says that?
Well, that's something we have to talk. We have to get Chris back in here to talk about. It could be, but some of them are now entering this market. I know they've got distro licenses to come in here, and we see Braxton is now in this area.
Yeah.
They're slowly entering the Lexington market.
Yeah.
We may see Darkness at some point start moving. The White Squirrel moved into the Louisville market. So once we get more breweries in the state, more people drinking local beer.
I think producing more beer. Yeah, this year alone, we will have seen before the end the year's up at least 3 breweries opening up, maybe more. I'm just thinking off the top of my head.
In the state itself?
No, in Lexington, Lexington. I'm thinking of 3 off the top of my head.
Counting Life.
Yeah, Life. We got Mirror Twins happening real soon, and one more which we can't say yet, but it's going to be happening really soon. And I'm sure there's probably another one we don't even. There
might be some other people sitting around going, you know what? There's still potential on this side of town.
I've heard rumors of some other ones, so I think it shows that we are serious about it, and it shows that we're serious about it. We're producing good product that people want, and then that's also increasing demand of outside product that people also want, and then our market starts to catch up to other markets, and then we take over the world.
So what we're basically saying, people, is go out and buy some beer.
Yeah, go get some beer. I'm going to go buy beer right now.
If you don't buy beer, we're not getting more beer.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we've said a lot, maybe too much.
We're going to get sued if you keep saying that, I have a feeling.
Oh, man, I would love if the Howard Stern picked us up and made fun of us.
Yeah.
But you've been listening to COCBLOK, the Coalition of Craft Beer Lovers of Kentucky, in beautiful Lexington, Kentucky, on WLXU 93.9 FM, Lexington Community Radio. Stay tuned for the next show, which is a killer show, too.